Hey y'all, welcome back folks to another wild tale today. We're diving headfirst into a world of smarts and sneaky tricks with this fun, twisty story called Juha and the Stolen House. In the little village of al-Yanaabeen, there lived Juha, that guy everybody knows for his mix of genius and goofiness, the kind of fella whose stories get told round the campfire on those chilly winter nights. But that year, something nobody saw coming went down. The whole mess kicked off on a sunny morning when Juha woke up to some loud banging on his humble door. He rolled out of his straw bed, muttering under his breath, "Who the heck's bugging me before I even get my coffee?" He swung the door open, and there was his neighbor, Abu Yasir, face red as a hot coal, hollering, "Juha, my house got stolen." Juha, still half asleep, rubbed his eyes and goes, "Whoa there, Abu Yasir, hold up. How do you steal a house? It's made of mud and rocks. Ain't no thief hauling that on his back and skedaddling." But Abu Yasir was freaking out, waving his arms like a maniac, saying, "I swear I was crashing last night, and this morning, poof, the house is gone, vanished." Juha figured he'd check it out himself. He threw on his patched-up robe and trailed Abu Yasir to where the house should have been. Man, Juha just stood there, jaw on the floor, nothing but an empty patch of dirt, like the house never even existed. Not even the furniture, pots, or bed. Everything up and disappeared. All that was left was this old fig tree in the corner, staring at the scene all quiet-like. Word spread quick, and the villagers started crowding round, whispering and shooting looks. "Is it magic?" one guy says. "Nah, pro-thieves," another chimes in. Abu Yasir's over there clutching his head, going, "What am I gonna tell my wife? How do I live without a roof over my head?" Juha, squinting his sharp eyes and scoping the spot, raises his hand to shush the crowd. "Ain't no magic, no thieves neither. Houses don't just vanish like that. There's a trick here, and I'm gonna crack it." The villagers gawk at him like he's nuts. One mutters, "This is the dude who loses his donkey every week and hunts it down at the market." But like always, they let him give it a shot. Juha starts pacing the empty lot, checking footprints, feeling the dirt, even sniffing the air like a dang bloodhound. Then, bam, he freezes at the fig tree and spots something weird, a tiny thread tied to a branch stretching down to the ground. The folks edge closer, all confused. "What's that, Juha? A rag? How's that gonna bring back Abu Yasir's house?" one asks. But Juha's in the zone, piecing it together in his head. He spins to Abu Yasir and says, "Tell me, you owe anybody money? Piss anybody off lately?" Abu Yasir thinks a sec, then goes, "Nah, except that shady merchant who rolled into town last week. I was haggling over some sheep, turned down his jacked up price, and he got all mad, spouted some cryptic crap about how I'd regret it." Juha nods, gears turning in his brain. "Okay, so we got a pissed-off merchant, a missing house, and a funky rag. This ain't hocus pocus. It's a setup, and I'm busting it wide open before the sun sets." He bolts out of there, leaving the villagers scratching their heads. He knew it wouldn't be a cakewalk. That merchant wasn't your average Joe, and pulling off a stunt like this took some real sly moves. But like Juha always says, he wasn't born to leave a puzzle unsolved, even if the puzzle's a whole dang house. As the sun dipped low, the village geared up for a restless night, while Juha plotted his next move, clutching that rag like it was the key to the whole shebang. Come the next morning, the village was still buzzing about the stolen house. Kids were gathering round the fig tree, imagining ghost thieves lugging houses on their shoulders, while the grown-ups swapped worried glances. Juha, he was up early, sitting on his doorstep, eyeballing that beat-up rag he'd snagged from the tree. It was rough, stitched with weird red and blue threads, not the kind of fabric they spun in the village. This ain't just any old cloth, Juha nutters to himself. It's a message from the crook. He decides to kick off his sleuthing at the market where all the traders and strangers hang. He slips on his usual getup, stuffs the rag in his pocket, and grabs his old donkey, who's grumbling like he's allergic to adventure. The market's a riot of smells: fresh baked bread, spicy herbs, wool from the sheep. Juha weaves through the stalls, eyes like lasers, asking around about a weird merchant who'd blown through town. After an hour of hustling, a grizzled fruit seller points him to this guy named Salem, a Roman trader famous for his oddball goods and sharp tongue. "Saw him last week," the old-timer says, hauling colorful fabrics, bragging about secrets from far-off cities. Juha thanks him, heart pounding. Could Salem be the dude Abu Yasir ticked off? Tracking him down was easy. The guy's standing at a market corner, surrounded by bolts of cloth and cheap bling. Tall fella with a neatly trimmed beard and eyes that sparkle with fox-like smarts. Juha sidles up, playing it cool like a regular shopper. "Hey, mister, you got some killer fabrics. Got anything like this?" He pulls out the rag from his pocket. Salem's face flickers for a split second, but he plays it off quick. "Just ordinary cloth," he says with a grin. "Maybe from my old stock. Why you asking?" Juha catches the edge in his voice and smirks back. "Founded by my buddy Abu Yasir's place. You know, the house that up and vanished." He's watching Salem like a hawk, and sure enough, the guy's holding his breath. Salem busts out a loud laugh, but it sounds fake as hell. "A vanishing house? Man, you buying into fairy tales. Maybe your house grew legs and ran off with the fairies." But Juha ain't letting it slide. He leans in close and whispers, "Or maybe somebody pulled a fast one on us all. And tricks like that, they always leave a trail, Salem." Juha dips out of the stall, but now he's dead sure Salem knows something. Back in the village, he swings by Abu Yasir again, finding the poor guy staring at his empty lot under the fig tree. "Hit me with more on that merchant," Juha says. "What'd he say exactly?" Abu Yasir sighs. "He was steamed when I nixed his price, said he'd make me regret it, that my house would be a lesson for the whole village." Juha nods, then scopes the ground again, this time spotting faint tracks from a heavy cart half buried in the dirt. A cart, he thinks. How do you cart off a house? But then it clicks. Folks in distant cities use big rigs to haul stones and mud. Did Salem rope in some pro-laborers? As dusk creeps in, Juha heads home, brain churning on his next play. He knows going at Salem head on won't cut it. The guy's slick as oil. He needs a smarter trap. Lights his oil lamp and jots notes: rag piece, cart tracks, pissed merchant. Then he grins to himself. If Salem thinks he punked Juha, he don't know jack about who I am. Day 3 since Abu Yasir's house ghosted, and the village is losing his mind. Talk of spells and super thieves is spreading like wildfire, and that fig tree's turned into a tourist spot for gawkers pondering the bare dirt. Juha sipping his coffee slow at home, mind racing like a loom weaving threads tight. After that market run-in, he's convinced Salem's the mastermind. But how and why? Just payback for Abu Yasir or something bigger? Time to lay a trap that'll smoke him out. Midday, Juha rounds up 3 trusty pals: Abu Said, the burly blacksmith everybody fears but nobody hates 'cause he's a softy at heart; Hanan, the old seamstress who knows every thread that hits town; and Zaid, this quick kid with hawk eyes. They huddle in Juha's courtyard and he lays it out: the rag, the cart marks, Salim's shady vibe. He scratches a quick map in the dirt with a stick. Plan simple. We start a rumor around the village that I found killer evidence on the stolen house. I'll announce it tomorrow at the market. If Salim's guilty, he'll panic and try to shut me down. That's when we tail him. Abu Saeed raises a bushy brow. What if he don't show? Juha grins. Sly foxes like him don't leave nothing to chance. They jump into action. Hanan, who hits the market daily, starts whispering to the ladies about Juha's big break that'll nail the thief. Zaid zips through the alleys, spreading the word to kids and young bucks. Abu Saeed plants himself by the village well, where all the guys gab, and booms about Juha's mind-blowing clue that'll stun everybody. That night, Juha and Zaid hole up in a hidey spot near the market, watching Salim stall under a full moon glowing silver on the streets. After an hour, they spot a shadow slinking toward Juha's place. Zaid whispers, "That's him." They tail the guy quiet-like. Turns out it's not Salim, but some short dude with a stick and a small sack. He creeps up to Juha's door, pulls out something like mud from his bag, and scribbles on it. Juha and Zaid wait till he splits, then check the door. Scrawled in crappy handwriting, "Back off the house thing or you'll regret it." Juha chuckles low. Salim sending his goons means we're hitting pay dirt. He tells Zaid to keep eyes on things while he heads home to plot. Next morning, Juha hits the market like he promised, but holds back on the big reveal. Instead, he climbs on a crate in the crowd and hollers, "Y'all, I'm this close to the truth, but I need one more day to lock it down. Tomorrow, I spill everything." The villagers whoop and cheer. Salim, lurking in the back, looks like he's sweating bullets, wiping his brow. When Juha gets home, Hanan's waiting with another rag chunk, just like the first. "Found this by that old abandoned well outside town," she says. "Heard Salem's been hanging there with some strange fellas." Juha grabs it, feeling the puzzle snap together. Abandoned well, cart tracks, rags, they all point to a spot. He decides tonight's the night. With Zaid and Abu Saeed, they'll hit the well and see what Salem's hiding. As he packs a small bag, he mutters, "You think you're smarter than Juha, Salem. Buckle up for my surprises." That night, the sky's all cloud-covered, air thick with damp earth smell. Juha, Abu Saeed, and Zaid sneak out of the village toward the abandoned well in a little valley ringed by thorny trees and crumbly rocks, a spot nobody messes with 'cause folks say jinn haunted. Juha's got a small oil lamp flickering their path. Abu Saeed grips a heavy stick. Zaid's packing a sack for clues. Abu Saeed whispers all jittery, "You sure about this, Juha? They say Jinn crashed that well." Juha snickers soft. "Jinn don't steal houses, buddy. This is man's work, and I smell Salem's con from a mile off." Zaid, scouting ahead, light on his feet, points to the ground. "Check it, fresh footprints." Juha kneels and inspects. A bunch of boot marks, plus wheel ruts matching the ones by Abu Yasir's. Bingo, this is the joint. They creep to the well, noticing the stones round the mouth all scattered, like somebody'd been digging or hiding stuff. Juha nods to Zaid to shine the lamp down. The kid peeks and jerks back, eyes wide. "Juha, there's a rope ladder." Sure enough, a knotted rope dangling into the dark. Juha lock-eyes with Abu Saeed. "I'm going down. If I'm not back in 15, grab the villagers." Abu Saeed starts protesting, but Juha's already rappeleering, one hand on the rope, lamp in the other. At the bottom, he's in a tight tunnel reeking of wet mud. He edges forward, lamp revealing walls carved smooth. A few steps in, it opens up to a jaw-dropper. Piles of wood, stones, and furniture stacked helter-skelter. Blankets, rags like the ones he'd found. So this is where Abu Yasir's house got stabbed. smashed, Juha whispers, poking around. Then, footsteps echo from deeper in. He kills the lamp and ducks behind a wood heap. Moments later, two guys show with torches, the short scribbler from his door and Salem himself, talking low. "You sure Juha won't sniff this out?" Salem hisses, all tense. Shorty replies, "Left the warning note like he said. He'll back off scared." Salem chuckles. "That fool Juha. If he gets close, I'll make him regret it worse than Abu Yasir." Juha's ears perk up. He gets it now. Salem didn't just swipe the house for revenge. He wanted to spook the whole village, prove he could run the show with his tricks. Hired pros to dismantle it at night, cart it to this tunnel, explains the tracks and prints. Once they split, Juha hauls butt up top, fills in Abu Said and Zaid. House ain't gone. It's busted up and tucked in that tunnel. Salem's using the well as a hideout. Abu Said's gobsmacked. "Why pull this crap?" Juha shrugs. "Fear and control. He wants us thinking he's some unbeatable wizard or thief." They head back to rally the village, knowing Salem won't go down easy. Juha, trudging through the dark, mulls his endgame. "Tomorrow we shut this con down." But he knows facing Salem will be rough. The guy's no dumb traitor. He's a schemer who loves playing with fire. Sunup hits, and the village is on pins and needles. Despite Juha trying to keep his well discovery hush-hush, the buzz spreads fast. Folks pack the square, whispering and waiting for his word. Juha's prepping his final play, knowing Salem will bolt or scrub evidence once he hears. In his house, he huddles with Abu Said, Hanan, and Zaid. "We gotta lure him to us," Juha says, stroking his chin. "Spread word I'm heading to the well today to haul back Abu Yasir's house. Invite everybody to watch. Salem won't pass up a shot to wreck my show." They roll it out. Hanan hits the market, gossiping to the women. Juha's bringing the house back today, meeting at the well with the whole crew. Zaid darts through alleys, telling kids and teens. Juha's epic quest starts at noon. Abu Said bellows in the square to the men. "Who's in to see the truth? Follow Juha." By noon, a ragtag parade of villagers trails Juha to the well. He's leading with his staff, looking cocky, but scanning faces from the corner of his eye. At the well, Juha points to the rope ladder and booms, "Right here, y'all. That's where Abu Yasir's house is hiding. I'm going down to prove it's no spell or spirits, just a man's dirty trick." But before he budges, hoofbeats thunder. It's Salem barreling up with two goons, face twisted in rage and panic. "Stop this, Juha. You're scaring the village with your lies. Ain't nothing in that well." The crowd wheels round, murmurs rising. Juha smirks. "Then why you here, Salem? If you're clean, climb down and prove it." Salem hesitates, eyes darting. He knows dodging looks bad, but the tunnel's a dead giveaway. Finally, he puffs up. "Fine, I'll go first and show y'all Juha's full of hot air." He drops down, Juha right behind, then Abu Said to block any rabbit run. Zaid stays topside, watching Salem's buddies. In the tunnel, Juha fires up the lamp and nods at the junk pile. "Ain't that Abu Yasir's door and those blankets his wife bought last year?" Salem tries to play tough. "Old junk, no proof here," but his voice is shaken like a leaf. Abu Said clamps a meaty paw on Salem's shoulder. "Then why you sweating like a pig?" Boom! Salem bolts, but smacks right into Juha at the entrance. "Save your energy," Juha says, cool as ice. The villagers are waiting up top, and they know the score now. Salem crumbles, yelling, "All right, yeah, it was me. Abu Yasir dissed me, so I taught him a lesson. Hired hands to take the house apart at night, carted here. I was going to return it once he begged." Juha ain't shocked, and you figured it'd freak the whole village, make you untouchable, huh? Salam goes quiet, busted. Abu Saeed hauls him up, and they emerge to cheers and questions from the crowd. Juha steps up and spills how Salam ran the scam, hired pros to demo the house, used the old tunnel under the well to stash it, playing on the village's ignorance. But tricks, no matter how slick, always leave a trace, and one little rag was all it took to blow it open. Under the villagers' steely stares, Salam had no choice but to fess up full. But the story wasn't wrapped yet. The village had to decide his fate, and Juha had to help Abu Yasir get his pad back. Bigger still, there was a lesson brewing for everybody. The day after cornering Salem at the well was one for the books. No village bash like it had ever seen. Folks crammed the square, waiting on the elders' call on Salem and what had happened to Abu Yasir's house. Juha's hanging in the mix, cool as ever, but with that sly glint in his eye. He knows the tale's got one more beat, and justice round here ain't just punishment, it's fixing what got broke. The elder stands tall in the crowd and calls on Salem, head hanging low to spill his guts. Salem, pride in the gutter, mumbles, "I wanted to prove I was the smartest. Abu Yasir ticked me off, so I schemed to scare him and the village. Didn't mean real harm, just wanted respect." The crowd shifts, some mad, some pitying. Juha steps forward. "Elder, he messed up bad, but he owned it. Punishment alone won't rebuild Abu Yasir's place. Let's make him part of the fix." The elder eyes Juha keen. "What's your pitch?" Juha grins. "Salem and his crew tore it down. Let him and his boys put it back. Be a lesson for him and us. Tricks might fly for a night, but truth always crashes the party." Elder nods, crowd roars approval. Salem, bracing for worse, looks relieved, maybe even grateful, despite the shame. He's ordered to round up his hands, rebuild Abu Yasir's house in a week under Abu Saeed and some locals' watch, plus a public sorry to Abu Yasir and the village, which he does, grudging but real. Over the next days, that empty lot by the fig tree turns into a build site. Salem and his crew, with villager help, lug wood and stones from the tunnel, piecing the house back block by block. Hanan oversees patching blankets and curtains. Zaid zips round hauling tools and water. Juha wanders the site, cracking jokes to ease the tension, but keeps tabs on Salem to make sure he toes the line. On the seventh day, Abu Yasir's house stands proud again, maybe even sharper with fresh oiled doors, new mud walls, and the fig tree looking perkier than ever. That night, the village gathers in the square, not for a blowout party, but for swapping stories and laughing over the craziness. Salem, job done, hangs back feeling a weird mix of embarrassed and chill. One kid sidles up and asks, "You stealing another house?" Salem cracks his first real laugh in days. "Nah, kid, I learned my lesson. Won't forget it." Juha heads home, settles under his oil lamp's glow, and ponders. The village figured out fear comes from not knowing, and no con how fancy can outrun the facts. But he knows another caper lurks somewhere. This place don't stay quiet long. With a crafty smile, he snuffs the lamp and crashes, leaving the fig tree and its tails to guard the village in the dark. And that's a wrap on our story for today. We hope it tickled y'all pink and spiced up your day. If you dug it, smash that subscribe button, show us some love so we can drop more thrillers, and hit the bell for fresh adventures and juicy tales every time. Catch you next one.